This is the SF Productions Podcast Network.
The Late Night Wars continue.
From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. You can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. So, another announcement reignites the late night talk show wars.
Well, sort of.
David Letterman announces his retirement on April 3rd. It was kind of expected. He signed a one-year contract instead of a multi-year contract last year. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah, and when he signed that contract, you commented to me that it would probably just be until Jay retired.
Yeah. Clearly he wanted to wait until Jay was out.
Yeah.
Rumors say he will officially leave in April 2015. It hasn't been officially announced yet.
No specific date has been announced.
Right. I wonder if Jay had stayed out the first time and not come back, would Dave already be gone?
I don't know. It depends on if Jay had kept that 11 o'clock show or the 10 o'clock show.
Right.
But
right. Well, I didn't think that was likely.
That wasn't going to last ever.
No. So, I've been watching Dave since college. I was in the audience for both iterations. Mm-hmm. I got a VIP seat for the NBC show because somebody we knew knew a buddy who had an engineer who used to work for NBC. Mm-hmm. It was very tenuous. Somewhere I have a Larry Bud Millman autograph.
Yeah, and then we both went to see the CBS show together.
Exactly.
And that was at the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Right.
So we got to see it in the iconic place.
Mm-hmm.
And
so speculation pretty much exploded at that point as to who his replacement would be until
5 days later.
Yeah, CBS announces Stephen Colbert will take over Dave's chair. So that means he's going to end his Colbert Report run, which started in 2005 on Comedy Central.
And that'll be a nice wrap-up, 10 years doing the show.
Right.
So
it's not been announced, although you're hearing that it has been announced.
Yes.
That he's going to drop the Colbert character.
Yeah, he's not going to be doing it in character. He'll be doing it as himself.
It didn't make much sense that he would do that. So.
Right. And they're saying, he's really a very good interviewer even when he's not in character.
He's essentially, for the most part, doing that when he's interviewing. Mm-hmm. He really pulls back on the character on that. Mm-hmm. Of course, this leaves a hole now for Jon Stewart. So what's the plan for Comedy Central? Should they expand Stewart to an hour?
They could do that. I mean, there's certainly enough material. They always have those interviews that run long on the web.
Right.
So that would give him more time for actually interviewing people, or maybe even bringing in 2 guests a night, which is more standard for a talk show.
And they could move that at midnight show up 30 minutes.
But then it won't be at midnight anymore.
Yeah. Or what is most likely going to happen, they're going to pull someone from Stewart's team, as they did with Colbert.
And this would have been a great opportunity for John Oliver had he not already moved to HBO.
Right.
So,
although I'm guessing he's making far more money at HBO than he would have made at Comedy Central.
Yes.
So what we've talked about is Samantha Bee and Jason Jones, who are husband and wife as a team.
We would love to see that show.
And they really don't get a lot of time, frankly, on Daily Show.
Not a lot. But maybe they get as much as they want because they do have several small children.
Right, yeah.
So they may not even want to consider that,
yeah.
But I think it would be a good show if they did.
Yeah. Asif Manvi seems to be getting a lot of other TV and movie roles, so he's unlikely. Al Madrigal, I don't know. I don't think he's very good in more than a couple minutes or so.
Yeah.
A little him goes a long way. Jessica Williams seems too young for the role.
Although I have to say that with all the talk that's going on now about the old white men in late night.
True, that would be...
white men in late night. This would be a good, inspired choice, and it would give her a start and maybe allow her to move up later.
That's true. So what about a team show? I mean, cable news shows seem to have gone that way. Mm-hmm. And in fact, they've made fun of that on The Daily Show. So that way they could do, like, rotating people from Daily Show and just have a they're sitting around a table with 5 people and, that would be easy to parody.
That would be kind of fun.
Then the other question is, what about Craig Ferguson? Mm-hmm. So he supposedly had first refusal rights for Dave's chair. Mm-hmm. And if that's true, he rejected it and he didn't want it. He's always said he has no interest in moving on to 11:30.
Yeah.
He does have another year left on his contract. Is he getting tired of doing the show? I don't know, because he seems to be able to do what he wants to do there.
Yeah, they seem to pretty much ignore him.
Yeah, and it's a show that clearly would never work at 11:30.
Yes.
So I'm not sure where he would go from there. I mean, he's basically doing stand-up. He does stand-up bits around the country, and other than that, he's not really doing much else.
Yeah.
So I don't think he really has a lot of openings there. So I'm guessing he's going to stay where he's stay put.
Well, and he does a good job at it. So.
Right. Sure. So at that point, we'll again stabilize, presumably for a while, because you have the two Jimmies and now Steven.
Right.
So that all of them will have long contracts. So I don't see things changing again for several years after this.
And there is certainly a lot less strife in this changeover than there was in past ones.
Right.
A lot less.
I think CBS realized they had to do something very quickly. Or they would have had just speculation, on and on and on and on. In fact, on Craig, he's had a running bit since this all started where people are calling in, and of course somebody doing the voice, of other talk show hosts, basically like saying, just checking in to see how he's doing. And one of them asked about what size the windows were in the back, and putting curtains in.
Oh. Well, are you looking forward to seeing Stephen Colbert on The Late Show?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he does a very good job, and he has a wide background. I mean, he started basically in sketch, and doing, what do you call it? Improv, like Ike wasn't doing. And so he has that. He has several years of, of doing the show he's been doing. And I'm wondering how much CBS is going to let him change the format, because CBS tends to be the most senior in terms of their viewers.
Their demographics. Well, what I'd really like to see is him bringing in the same type of guests that he had on his own show. He had a really good mix of celebrity Hollywood types and science types.
Right.
And literature types. And, it would be really nice to see some of those people getting more late night show network stuff.
Right. But, I mean, there's basic format questions. Does he have a desk? Does he have a band? Does he do a monologue at the beginning?
That's true. Well, basically, he does a monologue now. It's
He's
just
he
does
down.
it behind the desk.
Yeah.
So, I don't think we'll be seeing a C-shaped desk, because that wouldn't be in character for Stephen Colbert himself. I assume. So. But it's all very interesting. I will have to point out, though, that they did not call us to ask us to host the late
What the heck?
show. So that's it. This is all you're going to get of us.
Right.
And in the meantime, you can check out our audio podcast, How I Got My Wife to Read Comics, on iTunes or on our website, sfpodcastnetwork.com. From the Pop Culture Bunker, I'm Mindy.
And I'm Mark. Thanks for watching. Good night.